Why are we as people, as human beings, as digital marketers, why are we obsessed with the new and the sexy? And why can't we just be okay with kind of the old, boring, and effective methods online? In this video, I'm going to show you the two different methods, the trap that so many people fall into, and how you can avoid it and kind of solve your problems once and for all. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you the perfect tool that'll help you get through this problem. Hey guys, I'm John from Incomesh.com. My goal in life is to help you find the perfect tools and master them for your next project. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about boring versus sexy. And this is kind of like the problem that so many people fall into, and it's a trap that can get you stuck into the world of being unproductive and ineffective in your marketing. And I want to explain this in a little visual here and then show you the tool that'll help you accomplish this goal here. So first, let's talk about what these two different paths are. So if we're going through here, this is our time axis. So we're going through time and we're doing stuff to try to make something happen in our business. And on this side here, we have kind of our success. This is our happy meter. Whether this is increasing conversion rates or this is increasing revenue or profits, however you want to define this, you have some success over here on the axis. So over time, you're going to test different strategies, different tools and techniques to improve the success of your own specific sales funnel. And let's just go through kind of a classic example that I see so many people fall into. So they start out here, and maybe they have a lead magnet. This is like a cheat sheet, a 7 secrets to do X, Y, and Z. And they launch it here at, maybe day 1, day 2, whatever the case might be. And it performs okay. So maybe you get a 3%. I don't know. The numbers really don't matter here. The point here is to show the trend over time. So you start out with a certain percentage of success. And if you just let this run and kind of leave it, this is probably what's going to happen. It happens over and over again. The effect starts to diminish and it starts to drop down to some lesser level of effectiveness. Maybe this is 1.5% or whatever the case might be. And you start to see this and you see this trend and you're like, oh my gosh, it's breaking. Something's going bad. My business is going to fail. I need to change it up. So you decide in your infinite wisdom, okay, lead magnets are dead. And let me go and browse my news feed, find the next thing to try out. And maybe the next thing is over here, and they're automated evergreen webinars, which are super cool, super sexy, super scalable, all that great stuff. So you implement this, and then you measure the results, and maybe you jump from a 3% up to maybe like a 5% conversion rate. Pretty awesome, right? Like you're starting to see, okay, here is the next best thing. I'm profitable again, even though my ad costs are rising, my income is rising faster. So we're in a good place. But again, you set it up, and because you don't have the right tools and strategy here, you kind of let this thing run as it is for a while. And what happens again? Well, you guessed it. The same thing happens. It starts to diminish. You don't touch it. You don't improve it. And it starts to fall down to where now it's only, performing maybe at the same level that your lead magnet was earlier. So then you say, okay, well, I guess I ran through my evergreen webinar phase. This phase is over. Let's go again. And so you find out the next thing, and maybe you realize the next best thing on the market is challenge funnels. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to do this 30-day challenge funnel. And at the end of it, they're going to earn a ribbon, and I'm going to make an offer for a product or something like that because you have these people that are so engaged and they've gotten value from you. And so you go after that next market, that next opportunity, and maybe it doesn't even do as well as the evergreen webinar did. And so you're here in this position of, okay, what is the next thing? What is the next fix that I need to do to make my business succeed? Because you've tried lead magnets, you've tried automated webinars, you're trying challenge funnels, you're trying everything you can, but you're doing it in a faulty way. And let me show you instead the boring and successful method that companies like Netflix and Toyota and General Electric and every successful company out there, this is kind of the engineering methodology, the engineering mindset that they have when they go into a new venture, a new project, or a new campaign. So this is going to be our kind of tried and true method. Again, we have the same axis. We have time on this side. We have our happy factor on this side, and it starts out the exact same way. Whether it's a cheat sheet, whether it's a webinar, whether it's whatever, you're going to start out with a lead magnet or some critical business asset here that's going to convert probably at the same level, that same 3%. So nothing is different here. We're still starting out at a certain place, but here's the difference. Instead of allowing us to just let this kind of dwindle and never improve it, never make it better, instead of just letting this go static, what we are going to start doing is continuously and systematically test its performance and try to improve upon what we've already built. And I spent a decade in corporate America doing exactly this, of taking a huge system, a huge process, and running very focused, very pinpointed experiments to try to increase key leverage points to improve its effectiveness. So this is called A/B split testing. And let me show you kind of theoretically how this all works out. So here we are, and this is maybe a 14-day period between where this line is and here. So this is 14 days. And what you want to do now is start getting the best brains in the room to kind of throw ideas against the wall. You know, don't confuse this from what I set up here, where you're kind of picking and choosing anything you can and you're going all in with it. Like here, we abandoned lead magnets and we tested out evergreen webinars. What I'm saying here instead is, let's go ahead and create 4 different ideas, different tests. So maybe here we're going to test a new headline. Here, maybe we're going to test a video versus a image on the landing page. Here, we're going to test an entirely different offer. Maybe we're going to test a webinar, offer a webinar, and offer webinar 2. Whatever the case might be. You could run them entirely where you're testing out only headlines on these examples. And then, so you run this test where you're able to basically run a controlled scientific experiment where you're testing this hypothesis, which is the whole goal of science, right? And so here you decide that, okay, maybe this video versus the image, it performs kind of the same. No big deal. That wasn't a key leverage point on your landing page. This webinar actually tanks. This webinar here tanks as well. But maybe you switch between a pain-focused headline with a pleasure-focused headline, and you start to see success. So, you know, you say, okay, we're going to throw out this version. We're going to throw out this version. This version here performed, you know, admirably. It did well. It could also be a way to stick, but we found ourselves a winner. And so here and only here do you decide we're going to go to this lead magnet version 2. And you're going to throw out what you had because now you've found something that performs better. So all these guys are done. These are gone. Don't forget about them. Learn from them, and maybe reintroduce them at a later time. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you become a better copywriter, and so some of these versions can be effective later on. But this is now our new control. And so what do you do next? Okay, well, you know, we all fall prey to shiny object syndrome, so you're going to do even more. So maybe, again, you're going to test out a new headline. You're also going to test out maybe challenge funnels because, you know, like if there's tactics out there, you don't want to fall behind and not be able to keep up with times if there's something that actually is performing better. So you can test out challenge funnels. You can test out maybe affiliate traffic or whatever the case might be. And again, you run through here and you create another version. And so here we decide that, okay, once again, maybe this was testing out short form versus long form and didn't matter. It actually made my conversion rate go down from what I had. Tested out a different headline. Again, maybe this offer is just tapped out, so the headline didn't do anything. Maybe bring affiliate traffic helped it a little bit, but boom, once again, you found a winner. And this winner was actually an entire swap out of the offer. So now instead of doing lead magnet, lead magnet, lead magnet, we decided by using data and only having one real key thing we're focusing on at a time that the challenge funnel is the new winner. And it's not like the new hotness. It's just the thing that is performing the best at the time. Now, if you run this challenge funnel for a while and then you realize, okay, my audience has kind of moved from offer to offer, the place that the market is in has gone from point A to point B. Maybe at some point the challenge funnels will be played out and lead magnets will come back in time, right? Like we see this over and over where bad ideas become good ideas. And then after a period of time, they'll also revert back to being bad ideas. There's no real way for you to predict this. The only way you can actually, you know, systematically improve your business is to have a system, right? It's to actually go through and see that there's no way you can kind of mess with this process. There's no way that you can say it doesn't work because the worst case scenario, let's talk about a worst case scenario. So you're here and you try 4 different ideas again, and they all perform worse than this one does. Like they all stink. Like they absolutely don't do anything for your business, right? That can happen. That's happened before to me. It's happened before to me in digital marketing. It's happened to me before in corporate America. Is this a failure? Is this example here, is this a failure? Absolutely not. And here's the reason why. Because even in failure, you create an opportunity to learn. Every time you run an experiment, you introduce new learning. Because if you did this the right way, and I've got plenty of coaching on how you can actually do this the right way. If you did this the right way, everything you did had an intention. Everything you did was because you had an idea that you thought would work. You don't just throw spaghetti against the wall if you think like, oh, this is never going to work, but we'll try it anyways. There's a hypothesis behind every one of these. And so if all of your hypotheses failed, that means you learned something. You learned something more about your audience. You learned something more about your particular ability to sell something. And you also learn about your copywriting, your imagery skills, whatever the case might be that you were testing in that variation, you're able to learn from it. So this world of A/B split testing has so much value if you just embrace it. And even though it's kind of monotonous and systematic and very kind of like right brain, like very just mathematically sound way of going about things, you can bring the creativity in when you're selecting all these different tests. You can decide, okay, I want to get really wild and crazy on certain tests and see how they perform. That's the way to do it. So finally, on this little guy here, I want to tell you the challenge, because the challenge has always been getting a tool that is affordable and effective and simple to implement these strategies. Now, you can go to the ClickFunnels or the Kartras or the Instapages. There are pre-built tools that are really designed for this purpose. But if you're a WordPress guy, and if you want to be able to run this along with your existing blog and your existing business without having to go to several different page builder types and using different technology, and if you don't want to deal with the struggle of Google Optimize and figuring out how all that works, there is a solution, and it's a newer solution that has a limited lifetime deal, and it's called Split Hero. There's a link in the description below, and what this allows you to do, I have reviews and other content about this tool on my channel, but in a nutshell, it allows you to do exactly what we talked about here. It lets you take a page and create several different variations, up to 4 different variations of a page, and split your traffic. Get it? Split Hero. It allows you to split your traffic between those different variations. It performs all of the analysis for you, and it puts it in a pretty little graph and a pretty little chart that lets you see which one is performing better and performing worse. And from there, you can kind of, over time, very easily, with just a couple minutes to set up a new test, improve what you have every single day that you run your business. So that is the way that I think you can move forward confidently to become a better marketer, to become a more successful business person in general, because you're able to kind of bridge the gap between the creative side of thinking of new ideas and new marketing tactics that you can use, while introducing and keeping strong with a data-driven approach that allows you to make sure that even if you fall back, it's not a permanent fallback. And if you fall forward, you can build upon that growth over time using small, incremental, and consistent improvements. I'm John from Incomesh.com. I hope this tutorial, this little strategy session was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, be sure to click the link below and check out Split Hero. It's only on sale for a lifetime deal for this week only. It's $97 to allow you to run unlimited split tests. You can run 3 at a time, which is plenty. And it's perfect if you are a agency owner who has a few clients and you want to be able to improve what they do. If you have arguments with people and you're like, hey, this is what we need to do for your business, and they're like, no, I like this design better, you can eliminate those arguments once and for all, because you say, okay, great, I'll do what you say. I'll also do what I think is right, and we will have no arguments. We'll just agree that whichever one performs better after the next 24, 30 days, whatever the case might be, we listen to the data and we implement those final changes. Nobody can argue with that. It's an easy sell. And if you have your own business and you don't have a team of data and analytics geeks behind you, which none of us do, right? This is the tool you need to have in your arsenal. I'm John from Incomesh.com. Share this video, like this video, and check out the deal. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.